Shaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiraye nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttam shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripatam vande Shri Gurum Deenatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Harihi Om Tat Sat Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we are in Canto 4, Chapter 4, and we are going to cover shlokas 26 to 29. Mataji, should I share, or anybody is sharing the shlokas? Okay.
Rohini Mataji is sharing, Mataji. Yeah.
4:26. Yeah, okay. Today's class, I'm going to spend a little more time on the first shloka, that is the 26th shloka. And the other three shlokas will be really brief because more time I'm going to spend on the 26th shloka. And before we start, I'm going to give excerpts from His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj lecture on this particular shloka, and a very beautiful way of his explanation. Of course, it will not be this as what Maharaj, but the points I would like to share with all of you. So that is how today's session is going to be. Yeah. So Anita Mataji can read the shloka, and Anusuya Mataji can read the translation for the shloka 26. Please.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Evam swadeham mahatam mahiyasa moho samaropitamangkamadarat jihasati daksharusha manasvini dadhara gatreshvanilagni dharanam. Hare Krishna. Translation
Translation by Srila Prabhupada, which had been so respectfully and affectionately seated on the lap of Lord Shiva, who is worshipped by great sages and saints. Sati, due to anger towards her father, began to meditate on the fiery air within the body. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Okay. So, yeah, and I think we know this whole chapter is based on why we should not commit Vaishnava Aparadh, especially Daksha Prajapati. Now, this particular shloka, Maharaj was kind to say, first of all, Shrimad Bhagavatam speaks about more about devotees rather than the Lord. I mean, of course, about the Lord, but lot about devotees. And devotees, we see all kinds of devotees. I mean, Maharaj was saying that Bali Maharaj, we call him Bali Maharaj, but actually he's from a demon family. Then you have even an animal, Gajendra, as Vaishnava. Then of course Vaishnavan Yatham Shambho, Shiva. So that is the offense Daksha Prajapati has created towards Shiva, right? So the whole of Shrimad Bhagavatam, also teaches us how to deal with devotees. More important to understand how to deal with devotees. Why? Because how grave or how serious is Vaishnava Aparadh. That's why how to deal with devotees, about devotees and dealings with devotees is what Shrimad Bhagavatam also talks about. So here, when we take the example of Jagai Madai, right? Jagai Madai, we know how offensive they were to Nityananda Prabhu, especially Madai. Madai, Jagai repented, and then when he saw, blood was oozing, but Madai did not do that also. That's why it is said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and he embraces Jagai and he gives him love of Godhead. And then Madai goes to him because coming from a Brahmana family, they know scriptures, even though they were drunkards and then they were very sinful, but then they also knew the background of scriptures. So he goes and asks, Madai goes and asks, when demons have come to kill you, right? You have liberated them, you have given them, love of God, and then why are you refusing to give me? Then Gauranga Mahaprabhu says, the demons came to kill me. So I forgave them. But I will never forgive somebody who's trying to harm my devotees, was the answer given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then, in Chaitanya Bhagavat, actually Vrindavan Das Thakur, in this particular incident, Maharaj was explaining why, even though Jagai and Madai, even though they were so sinful, they got love of Godhead. So much so, even Yamaraj, Yamaraj was bewildered. He goes to Chitragupta. In Chaitanya Bhagavat, it is said that he goes to Chitragupta and then, he asks, what is the amount of sin that these people? Then Chitragupta is saying, oh, my staff is tired of writing the amount of sinful activities that they have created, right? And then it says it is, the books or the notes that is made about their sins is filling rooms after rooms, right? And then, but still, how is it that they got love of Godhead? Imagine somebody so sinful and then getting love of Godhead. So Vrindavan Das Thakur in Chaitanya Bhagavat says, they got love of Godhead because they were drunkards. It may sound very, very obnoxious. Somebody being a drunkard and then they have got love of Godhead. Vrindavan Das Thakur further explains that they were so drunk, they had no time for Paraninda or Paracharcha. Paraninda or Paracharcha is, gossip. They had no time to glorify anybody, nor they had any time to offend anybody or Ninda, offensive. So, and because of that, all their sins were removed when they repented or when they surrendered to Nityananda Prabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then, so they got love of Godhead. Now, it may sound, very, very much against what we have been hearing, what we have been listening, what we have been reading, right? How can one be so sinful but still get the highest benediction? Highest benediction to who? To the lowest of people. Their sins were like unimaginable. Of course, one aspect is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Mahavadanyaya, so he gave this benediction to them. And also, Vaishnava, gossip, the more aspect of gossip, if we take, Maharaj was saying that it is like pickle. Even after having a full meal, we would have eaten up to the neck. But the moment we say pickle, we start salivating. It is so tasteful. Gossip is like that, is what Maharaj was saying. Even if we don't want to do it, and even if we know so many things about it, tendency is to get into offending Vaishnavas or offending anybody for that matter, talking ill. That's why it says, don't do either of them. Don't glorify anybody. Don't offend anybody. Because when we have the tendency to glorify, what happens is in next, when there is an opportunity and we see some differences, then we have the tendency to offend that person also. Then if you see, actually, if we read the purports of Srila Prabhupada in the third canto, Devahuti being instructed by Kardama Muni, third canto. I mean, shlokas as such, I am not. Yeah, you can open 3:29:34. Yes, Mataji, 3:29:34. In great detail, in several purports, Srila Prabhupada talks. Of course, the shloka also talks, and Srila Prabhupada talks. See, we think offending only Vaishnava, but there clearly Kapila Muni tells Devahuti that even if a single living entity, not even human being, living entity is unhappy with us, we will not get love of Godhead. Why? And this shloka says, we can see the translation of this shloka. Can you please go down, Mataji? Just show the translation by Srila Prabhupada. Such a
Mataji,
perfect...
for 34.
Yes. 3:29:34. Yeah. Such a perfect devotee offers respects to every living entity because he is under the firm conviction that the Supreme Personality of Godhead has entered the body of every living entity as super soul or a controller. See, here the translation does not say a Vaishnava. It says every living entity, right? So we are talking about something very subtle, but at the same time, how grossly left, right, center we get into offending Vaishnavas, offending people, then doing offenses when we are doing our sadhana, our seva, our puja, or whatever, right? So, at least trying to understand how subtle it is and how dangerous it is, we can start introspecting and then be aware that we should not get into gossiping about, not just about devotees, gossiping about anybody. And if it is so that we are in a place where gossip is happening, the best thing is to leave that place. Because unless this knowledge is there, then we will not stop offending or talking unnecessarily about others, right? And then that this was mostly from Chaitanya Bhagavat, like how Jagai and Madai, because they were drunkards, they were so drunk they had no time for Vaishnava Ninda or Vaishnava Charcha, either of them. So, and then, by, chanting or by our sadhanas, Krishna says, Krishna will protect us from our sinful reactions. But aparadas, aparadas is very difficult to overcome. And then in Madhurya Kadambini, Vaishnava Chakravarti Thakur talks about anarthas that are arising from various situations. It says Sukruti anartha, Dushkrutita anartha, Aparada anartha, Bhakti uta anartha. Now Sukrutita anartha we know, Janma, Ishwa, Shuta, Shri, if we are intelligent, if we are moneyed, if we are famous, and then if we are knowledged, we are very knowledge, then anarthas can arise because of that, because we think we know we are more beautiful than somebody, blah, blah, whatever, right? Anartha, Sukrutit anartha. Dushkrutita anartha, there is no need to, that Dushkruti is performing sinful activities only. So anarthas arising out of sinful activities. Now, before we go to aparada uti anartha, bhakti uta anartha. Even doing bhakti, anarthas arises. Why? Because once a devotee is getting serious, right? Then what does the devotee get? He gets puja, labha, pratishtha, right? What is puja, labha, pratishtha? Then people will say, oh, your class was so nice, you're this, you're that. People will offer so many things, they're always respectful to you, etc. So this is all coming because of bhakti, the anarthas. And then it is said, puja la pratishtha, shukera vishtha. it is like urine of a donkey. If one takes that as what offering to oneself, right? Then it is like urine of a donkey trickling down from your head. Now, puja, labha, pratishtha. This is anarthas arising from bhakti, right? And then, of course, the last one is aparadha vita anartha. Because of aparadhas, anarthas are there, right? And because of these things, these anarthas, a devotee falls down. Of course, there are other reasons also why a devotee falls down. That is, one is because of anarthas. If one is not serious in bhakti, one is in bad in association, and also demigods. Demigods also make some Vaishnavas fall down, and the Lord Himself makes a devotee fall down, right? Uh, Now, it may sound very, what should I say, incomprehensible for us, right? That demigods make us fall down, because we know our Indra is Kissa Kursika. I mean, like if somebody is getting very serious in bhakti or any austerity, then he was always afraid of his status where somebody else will become Indra, right? Then why does the Lord make a devotee fall down? Is that justified, or is it right? Is what the question comes to our mind. Justified, or whether it is right and all that, if we understand the concept behind what the Lord is trying to do. He's trying to keep the devotee, protect the devotee. Ananyas chintayanto mam yajana paripasate tesham nityavati. I protect what you have. He makes him fall down if the devotee is going very high in whatever bhakti sadhana. And then if he is not humble, he is humbled by making the Lord making him fall down. Right? Of course, he will protect his bhakti, but he will destroy his pride. So he makes him fall down, right? So this is what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakurpad says about the anarthas arising from various situations. Now Rupa Goswami Pad says about what are the 9 aspects of stages of bhakti: Shraddha, Bhajana, Kriya, Sadhu Sangha, Anartha Nivritti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Bhava, Prema. Now, Anartha Nivritti, and then you have Nishtha, Ruchi, Bhava, and Prema. Maharaj is saying Anartha Nivritti doesn't happen at the Anartha Nivritti stage. It is not that it is all the anarthas are gone. Next, maybe some percentage of anarthas are gone. But even at Nishtha stage, there are anarthas. Even at Ruchi stage, there is anarthas. At Bhava stage, also there are anarthas. The best example is Bharat Maharaj. He was at the Bhava stage, and because of non-association, he fell down and he had to take 2 more births to go back to Godhead. Right? As a deer, he got attached to a deer. He says even at prema level, anartha is there. Right? And something called atyantika anartha nivritti. What is atyantika anartha nivritti? Like Maharaj was giving an example of something shubha, okay, auspiciousness, but complete auspiciousness, atyantika mangal auspiciousness, people don't know, because they think we think in this material world, if we have a lot of money, we have good health, then we are recognized by people, we are accepted by people. That is auspiciousness. But atyantika mangala or shubha is Krishna consciousness. So in the same way, atyantika anartha nivritti happens. Actually, it happens only when we see God face to face, because all the anarthas due to this thing is burnt up with our sadhana. But aparadhas don't go. completely the aparadas is removed only after when we see the Lord face to face, is what Maharaj was saying, right? So then what is the hope for us? Is there no hope for us? Because as we are getting serious in bhakti, as we listen to all these things, as we become serious in bhakti, then the Lord gives us the intelligence to understand that even in the mental level, if we are we are thinking ill of somebody, if we are thinking bad of somebody, or we are judging somebody, then we are making an aparad. The Lord gives us the intelligence. He starts giving us the intelligence to recognize our thoughts itself. Okay. Of course, the action also. The action also that we should not make Vaishnava aparad. So, what is the most important thing to, if we know, if we have made, and also Maharaj says it is very, very difficult to not make aparad. He's saying, Maharaj is saying, he's saying, I'm sitting on Vyasasana and I'm saying you should not make Vaishnava aparad, but I create Vaishnava. Maharaj is saying, and he said it is very difficult not to make Vaishnava aparad. So, in case we make Vaishnava aparad, what is the thing? First thing is, go to that Vaishnava and beg forgiveness. And if that Vaishnava is not forgiving or is not pleased, then do service. Wash the person's clothes, feed him, whatever, him or her, whatever. And even if that does not please that Vaishnava, then deep repentance in the heart that I should not have done this aparad, I should not be doing aparad. Right? So this is what Maharaj was talking about. And then actual bhakti, Maharaj concluded with saying what it is to be in bhakti, in the sadhana. It is like that we have to be a servant. Now, we are very enthusiastic to be in bhakti marga or in Krishna consciousness. But the key for being in Krishna consciousness is to be a servant. But then in the material world, or we have that conditioning that being a servant means suffering. But then actually in the spiritual world, the servant is the topmost person who is pleased, even more than the Lord. So much so, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord himself, wanted to come as a servant, as a devotee of the Lord, and to experience that, what to say, that pleasure what one gets serving others, right? And then the mellow. Okay, thank you, Mataji. The rasa or mellow, whatever you can say. And then also we must understand that the mind has a very wonderful way of bewildering us, like when we are making aparad, or when we are judging, whatever word we want to use. We may say, is that a person a Vaishnava? Does he have 26 qualities? That means I have not done Vaishnava aparad. Or the mind can trick you to say, if he is a true Vaishnava, then he will not take offense, right? He will not take offense. So either ways, the Vaishnava may not take offense, but the underlying thing is the Lord will never forgive if we are offending a Vaishnava. So here we see how Daksha Prajapati, right? The Daksha Prajapati offended Shiva, who's the topmost Vaishnava, and Sati is getting ready to give up her body. I elaborated this on because Maharaj very nicely brought about all these things, aspects about when we are trying to avoid offenses, how there are obstacles, or how we have to understand the whole aspect of Vaishnava Aparad and not getting to judge, not just Vaishnava Aparad, right? Not judge anybody at all in whatever capacity, because that is the job of the Guru or Krishna. Because Krishna or Guru or senior Vaishnavas who are in the authority, they have the authority and the capacity to correct or judge anybody, right? Unless we are in that position, unless we are the authority or we are, above everything, like a very Uttama Adhikari, pure devotees, we are not in a position to say anything about anybody, right? So there are two shlokas I want to quote about how we have to be very, this is 5:10:17. 5:10:17, I want to open in the translation. How when King Ravana realized who is Jadavarat, and then he sees this, he says this shloka, right? It's a very, we'll go to the translation, Mataji, that's okay. Please go down. Please listen to the translation of Prabhupada. This is 5:10:17. My dear sir, King Raghugana is telling, I am not at all afraid of thunderbolt of King Indra, nor am I afraid of serpentine piercing trident of Lord Shiva. He says, I do not care about punishment of Yamaraja, the superintendent of death, nor am I afraid of fire, scorching sun, moon, wind, nor the weapons of Kuvera. Yet, I am afraid of offending a Brahmana. I am very much afraid of this. See, King Raghugana is saying, Yamaraj's punishment also I will take, but offending a Brahmana, I am very afraid of. So, one thing is all these episodes in Shrimad Bhagavatam is for us to internalize, is for us to practice, right? And take guidance from the Guru and Guru senior disciples, and then follow instructions, right? If they're saying, if you think you have offended, you want to go and apologize, follow instructions. See, it's so difficult to follow instructions. As you were saying, for a husband, for a wife, she has to follow the instruction of the husband, or in the office. It's so difficult for us to follow instructions. We're so conditioned to think our own, make up our own ideas, make up our own concoctions in the mind, because the mind is like that. So that is why the topmost thing, if you see in Chaitanya Charitamrita Bhagavatam, it says the only thing for disciple is to just follow instructions of the Guru. If you're following the instructions of the Guru, then you are back to God and achieve what you have to achieve. And so these were the few things, things that I could repeat from what Maharaj was trying to say. And then, of course, he spoke about about a chaste woman, which I will talk about in the next few shlokas. Very high, subtle point and a very profound point Maharaj makes about a chaste woman following the instructions of a husband. So that we will see in the next shloka. So we can go to shloka 27. 27. Shilpa Mataji can read and Divya Gopalitaji can read the translation.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat pranam. Tataha sarva bharatushcharanambu jasavam jagada guruschintayati na chaparam dardasha deho hata kalmashaha sati sadyah prajwalal prajvala samadhi jagnina. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Sati concentrated all her meditation on the holy lotus feet of her husband, Lord Shiva, who is the supreme spiritual master of all the world. Thus, she became completely cleansed of all taints of sin and quit her body in a blazing fire by meditation on the fiery elements. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. So the highlight of the purport and the shloka is meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord, right? Yeah, of course, lotus feet of husband. Here it is saying, but in the purport, Srila Prabhupada talks about either great personalities or the lotus feet of the Lord. Now, what happens when we are meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord? Right? Bhagavad Gita chapter 4, shloka 27, it says, see, the shloka says, as the blazing fire turns firewood to ashes, O Arjuna, so does the fire of knowledge burns to ashes all the reactions to material. Right? 437. 37. I'm sorry if I said it as 27. My mistake. Yeah, 37. So the knowledge itself, see now, just the knowledge, we may not even be, I'm speaking from my perspective, that every time I'm thinking of the lotus feet of the Lord, but just the knowledge itself is burning off all reactions to material activities. So imagine if we are able to meditate on the lotus feet of the Lord always. Then, so how much of blissful nature that we'll always be in spite of all the happenings around in Kali Yuga, right? And then what is it that Sati gave up? We come back to the shloka. What is it that Sati gave up? Is that she is the daughter of Daksha, right? She, it is very, what to say, daughters are very, very more attached to the fathers, right? And then if she had to give up that, give up the body in the sense, she in these chapters, like when she hates herself to be called Dakshayani, because she is reminded of her father Daksha, who offended Vaishnava, like Shiva, right? So she just wanted to cut off that relationship with her. Sangha Shastrena Dridena Chitva, right? It is not easy. Even at the heart, irrespective of our close, it can be our husband, our wife, our children, our in-laws, whatever, we may hate them also to some extent, we may dislike them, but then it is not easy to cut off the relationship with them, right? That is why, 15th chapter, it says, Dridena Chitva, Sangha Shastrena Dridena Chitva. You should cut it with a sword of knowledge, it says, 15:3-4, right? And then also, Prabhupada takes the reference of 2:4.15, right? The translation, it says, Bhagavatam 2:4.15, let me offer my respectful obeisances and to the all auspiciousness Lord Sri Krishna, about whom glorification, remembrance, audience, prayers, hearing and worship can at once cleanse the effects of all sins of the performer, right? So remembrance of this will help us to cut off the false notion or false materialistic bondages, because we will, by remembrance, what is happening is we will try to remember our true identity, that I am the soul and I am the servant of the Lord. I am not anybody's daughter, I am not anybody's wife, I am not anybody's mother. My true identity is to be a servant of the Lord, right? And then also, Prabhupada says, Vishwanath Chakrabarti Pad and Jiv Goswami says that she did not get in the end of the purport, it says that Sati did not give up, she did not get her spiritual body. She entered the womb of Menaka, a better body, so that she can be reunited with Lord Shiva, because Lord Shiva and Parvati are eternal associates. So the aspect of how we have to remember the Lord. Satatam kirtayantom yatantascha drudavrata. Every word, this drudavrata, druda. It's so difficult to be a druda, dhira, druda, right? If we are able to at least, when our mind is deviating, even if we can remember words like druda, oh, okay, I have to bring back my mind. Even while chanting, forget other times, even while chanting, to bring back our mind to the lotus feet of the Lord or the name of the Lord. Right? So that is the highlight of this shloka. We'll go to shloka 28. Divya Gopa Mataji will read the shloka. Kripa Mayi Mataji will read the translation.
Mataji, I already read it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Kripa Mayi Mataji can read, and anybody else wants to read the translation? Yes.
I'll read Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Namita Mataji will read the
Yes,
translation.
Mataji.
Kripa Mayi Mataji, please read the shloka.
Thank you,
28.
Mataji. Tatpasyatam ibuvi chadbhutam mahad ageti vada sumahan ajayata anta priya daivatmasya devi jahan asun kena sati prakoptya. Thank you, Mataji.
Prakopita. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When Sati annihilated her body in anger, there was a tumultuous roar all over the universe. Why had Sati, the wife of the most respectable demigod Lord Shiva, quit her body in such a manner? Shall I read the purport also, Mataji?
No, Mataji. Thank you. Usually we don't read the purports. Thank you. So here, Prabhupada highlights about who was Sati, daughter of a Prajapati and wife of Lord Shiva. And in spite of it, she gave up her body in frustration. So 126, Prabhupada talks about Bhagavatam 1 Yatho Bhaktir Adokshaje. Unless it did not say Yatho Bhaktir Suta se, Pati se, Patni se, nothing. यथो भक्त सवै पुंस परो धर्म यथो भक्तिरदोक्षजा हेतु के प्रति था ययात्मा सुप्रसीदति. Yeah, we'll go to the translation. Translation by Prabhupada. The supreme occupation dharma for all humanity is that by which men can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self, because we are always trying to satisfy the self, ourselves. Right? And various things we try, innumerable things. Even if we are failing in the same thing, we keep on trying the same endeavor in the material world to keep ourselves peaceful or satisfy ourselves. Right? So only only serving the Lord, devotional service to the Lord and to Vaishnavas is actually what is going to suprasidati, actually. Su, if you're adding su, that means it is really highly blissful, right? So Srila Prabhupada very mercifully, taught us or gave us an opportunity, irrespective of what we have, any talent or any resources that we have, authority or anything that we have, unless it is used in the service of Krishna or to serve Vaishnavas, we are going to be, we are going to be dejected, we are going to be morose, we are going to be depressed, right? And then the aspect of, if we go, please scroll down the last part of the, okay, it is rejection. What was Sati going through, that she is being rejected by her father? Rejecting her husband is as good as rejected by her father, right? So, but then, in devotional service, nothing at all is rejected. Anything and everything can be used in devotional service. So that is how dynamic devotional service is. I mean, that is how merciful the Lord is, right? Irrespective of what one is, everybody, everything can be used in the service of the Lord, right? So rejection is one thing that all of us are, what to say, we become very sensitive about that, that if we are not accepted, right? If we are not accepted, then, no, this is Mataji, the fourth canto of Shloka, 4.4.28, this what I'm speaking about, not this 1 to 6, I think.
No, but Mataji,
Yeah,
okay.
this is the,
Yeah,
4.4.28. Yeah, so, but then we are neither, the Lord never rejects us, nor does He reject any of our service. So in whatever angle we look, in whatever way, either trying to be peaceful, trying to be at peace with us, ourselves, or trying to be happy, in whatever angle if we look, only service to the Lord is what is going to keep us sane in this insane material world, right? So the last shloka of the day, 29, Krishnamurti Prabhu will read, and Sharmila Mataji will read the translation.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Aho anatmyam mahat asya pashyata prajapatehe yasya chara acharam prajaha chaho asun yatvimuta atmajasati manasvini manam abhiksham arhati. Pranams Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. It was astonishing that Daksha, who was Prajapati, the maintainer of all living entities, was so disrespectful to his own daughter Sati, who was not only chaste but was also a great soul, that she gave up her body because of his neglect. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Chaste, not only chaste but also a great soul, right? In that first lecture of His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj gave a wonderful example of how powerful a chaste woman is. What is a chaste woman? One who is following her husband's instruction and one who is trying to please the husband. Now we may come up with questions like, what suppose the husband is not this thing, he's not a devotee, or what is it? Because these questions do come up. Now, the basic first thing before I tell that story, we have to understand that I am the cause for whatever whatever situations I am in. And if I'm not accepting that situation, I'm just complicating my karma. In the sense, now I'm in that situation because previously I forgot Krishna and did certain activities, so I'm in this situation. Now, if I continue to lament about it and crib about it and complain about it, I'm continuing to forget Krishna rather than accepting it. Of course, there can be instances where relationships can get abusive and all that. I'm not going to that extreme, that aspect of it. Then, of course, we have to take necessary steps with the guidance of seniors, senior devotees. That is a different aspect. On a general note, because there are many spouses, I will say, many among the grihasthas, there's one of the spouse who follows Krishna consciousness and the other doesn't follow. So what happens? What is the way forward in such kind of circumstances? So unless we accept that it is my own doing, and then now I have a chance, I have come to Krishna consciousness, and then let me not do things that I takes me backwards in my bhakti, right? Because the scriptures say the only thing for a woman to reach Godhead is to serve her husband. We saw how Devahuti, in spite of being a daughter of a queen, of a king, how she served Kardama Muni. And because she served him so well, materially and spiritually, everything was there for her, right? So a chaste woman is highly regarded, and the power of a chaste woman. With this story, I would like to share what is the power of a chaste woman. Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj was sharing this story. Says there was a lady whose husband was a leper. She was a very chaste woman, okay, and the husband was afflicted by leprosy. And of course, she used to take care of him very nicely because she was a very devoted wife. And it so happened that suddenly she was one day he was feeling very morose. So she asks him, "Why are you feeling sad?" And this husband says, "There's a prostitute there, and then I want to enjoy with her." So this lady says, okay, you don't have to worry. I will arrange this. But then she knows they don't have money because they are very poor. So what she does, every day night, she goes to that prostitute's house and she's cleaning all the vessels and cleaning the house of the prostitute very nicely. So this prostitute thinks, who is this person who's doing this every day, and why are they doing it? So one night she stays back, and then, or she's awake, and then she finds out that this lady is cleaning her house and other things. And so she asks this lady, as the lady says, "See, I don't have money, but my husband wants to be with you, enjoy with you. So I'm doing this service." So the lady says, "Okay, fine. You bring your husband." And Maharaj goes to explain that in the Vedic society, prostitutes are not always prostitution is an accepted aspect of in the Vedas. And then he says how intelligent prostitutes are. And then he says, what this prostitute does is she takes 3 pots, one golden pot, one silver pot, and one clay pot, and she soaks chana dal in all of them, and she keeps the day she has invited that lady to bring the leper. And then Maharaj further says that some of them are so, even though the profession at the outset looks not very acceptable, that there are traditions where they take the mud from their house or the soil from their house, and in some auspicious occasions they use it because there's some amount of acceptance in the society. I mean, he was giving this example, and he was telling how intelligent she was. So when she brings him, then the wife brings this leper husband. The prostitute says, "See, I will fulfill your desire, but first I want you to, I have soaked the same chana dal in all the 3 vessels. You please go and pick up from any vessel and you eat it, then we can further see what has to be done." So this man goes, and then this leper goes, and then from the golden pot, he takes the chana dal and he eats it. So then immediately the prostitute tells this man, "Look, you are coming to me who's like the chana dal. It's a chana dal in the copper pot, but actually you have a golden pot. Your wife is a golden, is as good as gold, right? So instead of trying to, want to please yourself with me, you please go with your wife. She tells him, and they go back. Now, because he's a leper, the wife has to carry him, right? And then when when she's taking him, obviously it's a man, and then she's carrying him. His leg touches a sannyasi who's meditating. Maharaj says a chaste woman can be more powerful than a sannyasi, is the statement Maharaj makes. And because he was meditating and a sannyasi, and the leg touches in the evening, it touches his body, the sannyasi or that sage who was meditating curses, says, but whoever leg touched my body, let this person be dead by tomorrow, by sunrise, as soon as the sunrise. Now, for a chaste woman, nothing is more important than the husband. So after she hears this, she says, I curse, if I am chaste enough, I curse the sun will not rise tomorrow. Because if the sun rises, my husband will die. Right? And she says that, and the next morning, when the sun doesn't rise, and then the devatas are wondering what is happening, and then they come and pacify the woman and says, your husband will not die, and then the sun rises. So Maharaj is giving this example to give the power of what it is to be a chaste woman, how they can be more powerful than the chastity of woman is very important, which is kind of looked down upon now. Trying to be faithful to your husband, trying to serve your husband, right? Which is the only thing for a woman. Like if you take great personalities, I mean devotees like Kunti Maharani, Draupadi, and all of them, how devoted they were to husband, and so they were so powerful. I mean, in the sense, powerful not to misuse their power, but to, in the true sense, as a woman, what the scripture says. Like I was talking about following instruction. So Krishna is saying in the scriptures, for the woman, she has to follow the instructions of her husband, right? So such a chaste lady, Sati, right? And also great soul, that she gives up her body. Why? Because more than her husband being, more than that aspect that Shiva being her husband, that he is such a Vaishnava, and her father is offending such a Vaishnava. And also here, this episode can highlight that she did not follow the instruction of Shiva. Shiva tells her, don't go. You will be only pained if you go, don't go, right? But she's, somehow manages to squirm through and then convince Lord Shiva that she wants to go because it's her father's house. Maike, such a big Maya. Maike is the biggest Maya for women, right? So these were a few lessons, that we can learn from this episode. The most important lesson that we have to learn here is not being judgmental, not trying our best not to get into Vaishnava aparadh, mentally also not trying to judge, not Vaishnavas, anybody at all. Because the Lord, if we reread the third canto of Bhagavatam, Kapila Muni's instructions to Devati, how he says elaborately, time and again, Prabhupada in several purports, he says, the Lord will not accept if any one single living entity is not happy with us. With such a tall order. Yasman no dvijate loko loka no dvijate harsha marsha bhayodvega mukto yah sachame priya. 12:15 Bhakti Yoga Bhagavad Gita. It says 12:15. That shloka when I read, I said, oh my God, how is this possible? How at all is this possible? It is possible only if we are, the aspect of that, we are servant of the servant of the servant of the translation. He by whom no one is put into difficulty and who is not disturbed by anybody, who is equipoised in happiness and distress, fear and anxiety is very dear to me. Right? So if this has to happen, then we just go to the previous shloka. If we have to put this into practice, Bhagavad Gita, the previous shloka, 14, 12, 13, 14, Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, it says Adveshta Sarvabhutanam Maitre Karuna Evacha Nirmamam Nirahankara Samadukka Sukakshami Santushta Satatam Yogi Yatatma Druda Nishchaya Maya Arpitavano Buddhi Yomapatasime. The first line, translation Mataji, Adveshta Sarvabhutana, one who is not envious but is a kind friend to all living entities and who does not think himself proprietor. Now, this is possible. I mean, at least this was my perception from Yasman Nodvijate Loka, from 15 to 13, 14. If you go to the previous shloka of this same chapter, right, this can be possible when we try to do, Mataji, the previous shloka of this chapter, Bhagavad Gita.
Not 13, 14, Mataji.
Go to the previous one. Yeah, 12.
12. Okay.
12.
Okay.
Yeah. Go to the you go to the translation. How can this be possible is translation by Prabhupada. If you cannot take to this practice, then engage yourself in cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation. Better than meditation is renunciation of roots of action. For by such renunciation, one can attain peace. What do we mean by renunciation of roots of action? Do your duty, but don't expect. When you don't expect, then nobody is a friend or enemy. When nobody is a friend or enemy, then you can come to Yasman Nodvijate. Yeah. So with that, I conclude today's class, and then zero expectation. That is a high expectation from ourselves also. Okay. So thank you all very much for this opportunity in this month of Damodar. I feel so insignificant trying to speak about this, but then I was able to repeat, I mean, hopefully I was able to repeat a few of Maharaj's words, and trying to, of course, help me to introspect and trying to see how best I can implement it, because it is so very easy to just sit here and talk. It is just easy to say words, but it is most important to implement it or put it into practice. And then if some of us are in that group of daily Damodar daily challenge, where they are praying for us when we are, and one of the challenge recently was, or one of the task was that write down the name of a person that you don't like, and then offer a Damodar lamp. In fact, I will take it one step further. Actually, if in the course of our lives, we will keep coming across people we don't like and people will not like us. But that aspect we have no control. Who likes us, who don't like us. But when we come, yes, we can offer lamp. Actually, doing parikrama for them around Tulsi, offering water to Tulsi and doing Tulsi parikrama for them also is very purifying. Not that they are purified, we will be purified of our anarthas. Yeah. So with that, so please do join these kind of groups. A big haribol to His Grace Achintya Prabhu, Achintya Gopinath Prabhu, for wonderfully engaging us all day in and day out in various ways in Damodar month and otherwise also. So a big haribol to him and to the whole team. Thank you to Narini Mataji for hosting and coordinating. And last but not the least, all of you for giving me an opportunity to share a few points in this auspicious Damodar month. Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much. There are any
Hare
questions?
Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much. It was such a wonderful class, Mataji. At least for me, it was like I just got mesmerized and I was so deep into what you were saying. It was really very helpful. Mataji, can we take questions? We do have time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mataji, I have a question. Like in shloka number 27, where
Hmm.
it says that Sati gave up her body and went into the womb of Menaka, but she did not get a spiritual body. Mataji, I didn't understand that. Can you explain that?
So she again comes as Parvati, and then Lord Shiva. Like, because if you see, Kailasa is not in the it's not in the spiritual world. It is in the material world only, right? As Maya, I mean, as Parvati, she comes and then again marries Lord Shiva. So in that aspect, we can understand that she again took another body. And very clearly in the end, it says, Vishnu Chakravarti Pad saying that she did not get a spiritual body. That means there is more, either more service to be done, or what can I say, or in the service of the Lord, right? Because she is Parvati, right? Durga, she's Maya, right? Mahamaya. She has to do serve the Lord in this material world. So she takes another body. And of course, a better body to serve Lord Shiva also.
Hare
Yeah.
Krishna. Mataji, she is the external potency of the Lord, no?
Okay, yes.
Is she? That's my understanding.
Yeah, she, see, external potency of the Lord, yeah, but then they can take any form to serve the Lord, right? They can, take as any aspect of it to do service to the Lord, right?
So they have material body, Mataji, Maya and Parvati, and
Yeah,
they have
yes.
material body. So they are living entities only.
The living entities. But then this I have to check, like how Shiva position cannot be taken by any living entity, right? Shiva's position is taken only by the Lord, as Shiva, Rudra is taken only by the Lord. So the same way, about Parvati I have not asked. So that's a good question, whether Parvati, any living entity can take, like how Brahma is if you 100 births, if you follow Varnashrama Dharma, one can become Brahma. And don't tell any lie, in 100 births, one can become Brahma. So is that so about Parvati also? I have to check this, Mataji. And with some senior
Yes,
devotees, I have
Mataji.
to
Thank
check
you so
this.
much. Thank you, Mataji. Kusumlata Mataji, you can ask your question.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, you said that demigods are sometimes responsible for our downfall.
Mm.
So earlier classes we learned that demigods, we should respect them, and they are also helping us to reach Krishna devotionally. They are helping us. How I couldn't understand today. Uh, how to
See,
understand?
how to understand. See, demigods are also living entities, right? Now,
Yeah.
and then, okay, they may not be in that anartha like how we do. But then if you see Indra, time and again, how many times he offends Krishna himself. Though they are exalted devotees, they also come with anarthas, right? So if they feel, now that's what happened when Bali Maharaj did 99 yagnas. What did
Yeah.
Indra do, right? So, so that is why in the heavenly planets also, I mean, that is why, doing pious activities and going to heavenly planets is not the ultimate goal, because there again, one can have these anarthas, or one can be bewildered by, he is bewildered so much by the opulence there that he doesn't want to give up that. That means, see, unlike, even though Bali Maharaj was a demon, right? But then when Brahma comes and tells him, stop doing the yagna, you see the difference. Devotee and even though he's a demon, he followed the instruction. He followed the instruction of Brahma so much that the Lord, stands as a sentry in his where in Sutala, and he is given more opulence than Indra. right? So if you read the fifth canto there, you know, in the cosmic manifestation and in detail about the universe, about this Bharatavarsha, Jambudvipa and all that, there Prabhupada writes in the purports and also in some shlokas it comes that people in heaven are glorifying people who are born in Bharatavarsha because they have the opportunity to do bhakti, whereas and they are hankering to be born here. Because they, I think, I hope you understood what I'm trying to say. So because of that opulence, because of that position, because of that authority, you don't want to give up that, then you can make anyone fall down. Like how he went and asked Dadichi, give your bones. You can ask Dadichi. I mean, anybody to die just so that you want to save yourself. You see the mentality. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji.
I hope that I clarified and did not
Mataji.
confuse.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yes, Suma Mataji.
Uma Mataji and then Krishnamurti.
Krishna Mataji, pranams Mataji. Oh, wonderful class, Mataji. Mataji, I just wanted to, in connection with the Shilpa Mataji's question, I just wanted to know, Mataji, like Sati, when she gave up her body, was it almost like for me, Mataji, when she did not get the spiritual body, it was bewildering me so much, like when she is such an elevated servant of the Lord, gets a material body or something like that, then what is the hope for us, Mataji? Like, was it like a suicide, Mataji? What Sati did?
We cannot call it suicide, right?
Was it the will of the Lord? He knew it,
Of course.
Mataji.
See, you must understand, or we must understand the aspect that aspiring for liberation is also not what is not a hetuki bhakti. Why do I want liberation? If you go to the root of it, I want liberation because I'm fed up of this present situation that I'm in. Right? Mostly. Liberation means I don't want the present scenario. So I want to give up this body. Right?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Now, let's understand this from various angles. Now, if I want to give up this body because I'm in this present scenario, I'm in the present scenario is because of my karma. Now, if I give up and then I have to come back to finish that karma, right? And then what? Otherwise, will anybody take that karma? What should the Lord do with that aspect of karma? Right? So accepting santushta satatam yogi, whatever situation we are in, we are accepting. Tatte nukampam susamikshamanu. Right? Just accepting itself it becomes his rightful thing to go back to Godhead, is what that Bhagavatam shloka says. Why? Because I am in that situation, because I'm repeating this because I forgot the Lord previously. So I put myself in this situation. Now I'm again hankering for that. I want to forget this situation. Where will it go? No, it will not go unless I either suffer or enjoy my karma. Or I take complete bhakti and completely surrender to the Lord. Right? So, which is the most sensible thing to do?
Completely surrender to the Lord, Mataji.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know, Mataji, like Sati, when she gave up her body.
She took another body to do
Complete
whatever
her
service, complete her service to the Lord. Right? That is the pure devotee's motive is only to take any body. It can be an elephant, dog, rat, cat, human, devata, whatever, demigod, only to serve the Lord. Right?
Yes, Mataji. To guide us also, like to be happy with whatever.
So that is the service she is doing. That is the service she is doing by taking part in the this Leela of the Lord. She's giving us guidance. That is the service. See, it is so difficult, no? So we play all this part. Like if for Shiva, it is said like how he runs behind Mohini Murti, or Brahma is running after his own daughter. We should not think otherwise. Their motive is just only one thing. Like how the gopi said, told Narada Muni, okay, you take the dust from our feet and put it on Krishna's head. His headache will go. And that other pastime, it's okay even if we are going to hell. So they are not thinking of liberation, right? So liberation is also a desire, which devotees don't. Mama Janmani in Shikshashtakam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, birth after birth, let me take birth after birth to serve you. That means he is not even talking about liberation, right? I hope I answered your question, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, but we as practicing devotees, we are all eager to go back to Godhead, Mataji, and be with the Lord.
Okay. Be with the Lord. What do you go back to Godhead and be with the Lord? What do you do there?
Service only, Mataji.
So do that here, no? What
Yes.
difference? Serving
Yeah,
is the criteria. Hell, heaven, earth, Patala, Sutala, Atala, or Brahmaloka. Service is what is important. So do it here, na? Here or there. That should be the motive. That is the topmost. Like, I'm not saying I am in that platform. I'm just repeating Acharyas and Bhagavatam word. So if that is the thing, then we will not get into this cycle of why this, why not that, right?
Then we can create the Vrindavan here only. So this is what the point. Nice thing. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Namaste.
Hari Bol. Krishnamurti Prabhuji, and then Ramakrishna Prabhu and Param Prabha Mataji. Mataji, you have time, no? We have time for 10 more minutes. Yeah, then we can't take more questions. Hari Bol.
Mataji, can
Hare
I
Krishna.
ask a question first? I'll be going out, Mataji.
Yeah, please be very crisp and short because we have 3 more hands raised. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Danvat Pranam. Mataji, I just read a statement saying that we should feel pessimistic towards the material world. Then only we'll have a good feeling towards spiritual world. And at the same time, I heard that we should accept whatever, however our life is here, then only we can purify ourselves. I mean, because whatever we have done, it's all, I mean, whatever is going on, it's all because of our karma. So we have to accept it and go on. Is that true, Mataji? And I feel that it's contradicting both of them.
Not really. Pessimistic to the material life is pessimistic to be use it for sense gratification, right? Anything Srila Prabhupada taught us, anything material, nothing is material when it is used for in the service of the Lord. So pessimism or negativity comes when we are using it for my own happiness, or but everything becomes positive when it is used in the service of the Lord. So actually there is no contradiction if you go deep into it, or if you listen to Prabhupada's lectures and read Prabhupada's books, right? Prabhupada himself, when he was questioned, how can you go in such a luxurious car, says, why not? Because I'm representing Lord. I'm not taking this luxurious car for myself, because I'm representing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I'm using it. So you see, it would have been pessimistic if it were said, yeah, I want to go in this car because it has nice AC, it's a luxurious car. But Prabhupada spiritualized it. Everything Prabhupada spiritualized, right? So in that sense, yes, pessimistic, because we see, we have a tendency to lay back. When things are hunky-dory, when we have a lot of things to rely upon, the tendency is to use it for our service, in our service. So that we have to become pessimistic, not pessimistic about things, but things, how things are used, right? I hope that answered your question, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Danvat Pranam.
Krishnamurti Prabhuji and then Ramakrishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, Mataji, I will speak in Kannada. So I don't know the words to express in English. Sorry, Mataji. You please tell in English, Mataji. Thing is, ನೀವು ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು ನಮಗೇನು ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ. ಪಾಠ ಏನು ಭಾಗವತಂ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಭಾಗವತಂ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಭಾಗವತಂ ಶ್ಲೋಕಗಳನ್ನ ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ರಿ, ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತಾ ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸಸ್ಗಳು ಕೊಟ್ರಿ. ನಾವು ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟು ಸತಿ ಭಾಗವತನೂ ಓದಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತಾನೂ ಓದಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಆದರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಾರನ ಅರ್ಥೈಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಶಕ್ತಿ ನಮಗೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದೆ. ನಮಗೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳಕ್ಕಾಗದೆ ಒಂದು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ತಾವು ಇವತ್ತು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮಿಂದ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಅನರ್ಥಗಳು, ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳಿಗೆ ನಾವೇ ಕಾರಣ ಆಗ್ತೀವಿ. ನಾವು ಫಾಲ್ ಡೌನ್, ವಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಫಾಲ್ ಡೌನ್ ಅಂತಲೂ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ. ಈಗ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ನಾವು ಇಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದೊಳಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವ್ರು ನಾವು ಇದರಿಂದ ಹೊರಗೆ ಹೋಗೋದು, ಸದಾ ಭಕ್ತಿ ಸೇವೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ತೊಡಗಿ ನಾವು ಪಾರಾಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಹೆಂಗ್ ಬದುಕಬೇಕು. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಸರ್ತಿ ಈ ಜನ್ಮದೊಳಗಲ್ಲ, ಇನ್ನು 1000 ಜನ್ಮಗಳು ಬಂದರೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಈ ಲಿಬರೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಶಬ್ದದಿಂದ ದೂರನೇ ಉಳಿತೀವಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ವಿನಂತಿ ತಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ನಮಗೊಂದು ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಲಾಜಿಕ್ ಅದನ್ನ ದಯಮಾಡಿ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಈ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ನೀವು ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿ ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಡಿ. ಸಾರಿ. ಹರೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣ.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, first of all, spoke about me taking so many references from Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, and his the thing is that he is not able to relate. And then today's class, he feels that even after not this many lifetimes, that will we reach the goal. Okay. So the answer to the first part of the question, Krishnamurti Prabhu, is Krishna says, Mattar Smittar Gnanam Arpanimcha. 15th chapter, 15th shloka, Krishna says, from him comes the remembrance and forgetfulness. If I am remembering something, it is not my, I am remembering, but Krishna is giving me the remembrance. Okay. And then when we try to read more, right, and most of the shlokas that I quoted, Prabhupada has already quoted in the purport, some of the shlokas. And how we can relate is, when we seriously read Prabhupada's books, when we see just not reading, but then after reading, we keep on contemplating. What we remember is what our mind keeps thinking about. So in that sense, I can just say that it is my Guru's mercy that I am able to do it. I am definitely not qualified to do that, right? The second part is how not to feel hopeless with all that. What are we supposed to do? Like if you take that example of Brahmana who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met in Sri Rangam, right? And actually, there is one more Periyar verse also past time, but then I don't think we'll have time to say. Both of them were illiterate, right? But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told his Brahmana who was holding the Bhagavad Gita book upside down and trying to read, and all the other Brahmanas were trying to laugh at him because he was holding the book ulta, but he was crying upside down. And he didn't know that he was holding the book upside down. Chaitanya Babu asked him, why are you crying? And why are you holding the book in the other way around? So that Brahmana says, see, I'm following my instructions of my Guru. My Guru said you have to read Bhagavad Gita. So I'm holding the book. And the next aspect is I'm crying. He's seeing that picture, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is becoming a servant, like a charioteer for his devotee, right? So how merciful the Lord can be, right? So, so it is not that we can read the Panditya. If you read again in 5th canto, when shloka comes, where it says clearly, it says, it is not because of austerity. It is not because we are reading scriptures. It is not because we are a grihastha. It is not because we are a sannyasi. It is not because we are a panasprasti. Not because of all this, Krishna will like us. Krishna will like or accept us when we bathe ourselves in the dust of the lotus feet of pure Vaishnavas, right? So any talent, because Krishna says, all talents are coming from me only. I am the ability in man, he says in Bhagavad Gita. So if we can understand that basic concept that everything is coming from Krishna. If I'm saying this, that is coming from Krishna. If you're hearing this and understanding, that is because of Krishna. So if that aspect is understood, then we'll not worry whether I understood Bhagavatam. Yes, I have to read because that is the instruction. But whether I understand, don't understand, whether I remember this shloka, whether I'm able to connect, not connect, that should not be our aim. Our aim is to just follow instruction, read it, and then there will come a time when that surrender happens, then that connection, when we are able to connect and relate and other things. Yeah. So that is all I can say, Prabhu, because I'm also in the same boat.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Said to some extent, I myself satisfied with your answer, Mataji. Thank you. I will follow that, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. That enlightens all of us. I mean, most of us do have this in mind. Ramakrishna Prabhu, you'll have to be real short question. I'm so sorry we are running out of time.
Yes,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Short question only. Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, this Tattenu Kampam, this sloka number, can you give me, Mataji?
Yeah. I always, 10, it is the 10th canto. Yeah, just a second.
10.14.8, Mataji.
Yeah, 10.14.8. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, fine, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. This is only my question.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, can you show us your altar so that we can do Damodar Ashtakam only if it is possible, Mataji?
Yes, definitely.
Hari Bol. Yes. Suma, who's going to sing the Damodar Ashtakam today?
Can I sing?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Once we see Mataji's altar, you can begin the Damodar Ashtakam.
Yeah, sure.
Hare Krishna Mataji, just sorry. Actually, my question it is something. It is different. Esman Nohi Vijate Rupa sloka number I need, Mataji.
Ramakrishna Prabhu, can you put the question in the chat so that we can forward it to Narayani Mataji and she can get the answer from Mataji?
Bhagavad Gita, 12:15, Prabhu. Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, fine, Mataji. Thank you.
Mataji, the Damodar Leela we need to see and do the Aarti upon. Little down you'll have to do. Little more. Yeah, it's not yet seen, Mataji, properly. Little on the right. And little down, Mataji. Little more. Down. Little more down. You can go a little far away, Mataji, so that the photo will be covered. Little down. Yes, Mataji. Hari bol. Yes, Mataji. You can hold it there, please. Yeah, please begin.
श्री राधा दामोदर भगवान की जय। नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानं यशोदाभियो लोकलाघवमानं परामृष्टम् अत्यन्तो द्रुतय गोप्या रुदन्तं मुहुर्नेत्रयुगं वृजन्तं कराम्भोजयुग्मेन शान्तकनेत्रम् मुहुश्वासकम्पत्रिरेखाङ्ककण्ठ स्थितग्रेव दामोदर भक्तिबद्धम् इति दृक्वलीलातिरानन्दकुन्दे स्वघोषं निमज्जन्तम् आख्यापयन्तम् तदीयशितज्ञेषु भक्तेर्जितत्वं पुनः प्रेम तत्सं शतावृत्ति वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षावधिं वा न शरण्यं वृणेऽहं वरेशदपीह इदं ते वपुर्नाथ गोपाल बालं तदा मे मनस्या विरासं किम् अन्ये इदं ते मुखाम्भोजम् अत्यन्तनीलये धृतं कुन्तलैः स्निग्धरक्ते च गोप्या मुहुश्चुम्बितं बिम्बरक्ताधरं मे मनस्या विरासम् अलङ्लक्ष्यलाभे नमो देव दामोदरानन्त विष्णु प्रसिद्ध प्रभो दुःख जालभिमग्नं कृपा दृष्टिदृष्ट्यातिदीनं बतानु गृहाणीष्मम् अज्ञम् इत्यादृक्षिदृश्य कुबेरात्मजौ बद्धमुचैव यद्वत् त्वया मोचितौ भक्तिभाजकृतौ च तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकामे प्रयच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहो मे सुदामुदयः नमस्ते सुदाम्रे सुदीप्तिधाम्ने यदुदरायाथ विश्वसधाम्ने नमो राधिकायै त्वदीयप्रियायै नमो अनन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं नमो राधिकायै त्वदीयप्रियायै नमो अनन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं नमो राधिकायै त्वदीयप्रियायै नमो अनन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna. Hari Bol. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Jigisha Mataji, for the Ashtakam. Can we end the class with prayers, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
Mancha kalptarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam
Patitana
pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo
vaishnavebhyo namo
Vaishnavebhyo
namo
Namo
anant
Namo
koti
Anant
vaishnav
Koti
vrinda ki
Vaishnava
jai
Vrinda
Srila
Ki
Prabhupada ki
Prabhupada
jai
Ki Jai
Shrimad Bhagavatam ki
Srimad
Damodar
Bhagavatam
Leela
Ki
ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna to all devotees.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.